mine. What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Mr. Shamspear? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can't prove. Oh, I killed that fellow. So I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me for the time being, anyway. Barely, you can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close, I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd give up? No question in my mind now. Man is guilty through and through. He seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, he'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Nardo. There is a way. Pardon? Only one way I can finish him. No! He's already committed the most heinous crimes to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. But not for the fact the police literally searched the room following the death of Mr. Ross. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule. If only there was some way we could find the convict's loot quickly. It's the final piece of this complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where the loot is hidden. My lord! Yes, Consul? The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find a late convict's hidden loot. I believe we already had it in possession of something that could give us a clue to its whereabouts. Our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we used the same technique once already. Definitely paid off then. Very well then, Consul. Let the court hear your idea. What do you propose we could use in order to locate a hiding place, the deceased convict's home? I guess we could show handprints. Would be the case. Oh. Wait a minute. Huh. Wait a minute. Yeah, in order to locate it, it's either that, because we haven't used it at all. This little thing right here. That's probably where it might have been, but we're using it to find things, so...
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shamspear's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Suppose as the result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene. Based on the wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Shlomes. A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title? I should think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspear. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title? Ah, 'tis Herlock Sholmes himself! What are you doing here, great detective? The usual haunts all the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not? Mr. Reaper, it's been too long. I see your complexion has worsened since last we met. Mr. Sholmes? No, Lord Van Ziegstead. Well, enough to say something like that in any case. Mr. Sholmes? Though you may be hailed as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit. If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us to uncover vital clues in this case already. Clues, you say? I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to assert this gentleman's gas pipe's behavior. You need only a small sample of something the individual has previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I use the teacup you have been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruto. Yes? What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time? Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes. The convict was arrested. He was living in what is now Suzuki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Sadel's loot and hidden in his old room. What form will the sample take? Present a person. We'll need something of Selden's in order to create the indicator solution to find his loot. Something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruto, your powers of reasoning appear to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom we can obtain a possession of the late convict, Selden, to create the indicator solution.
Take that!
Miss Green! Me? What do you want with me? The key around your neck, if you please. Sorry? The key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on its surface that we could use. Very true. That is the sample we need. Using it, we could create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. Find out exactly what Selden touched in the room he used for rent. Mr. Shamspear has one great to another, I assure you. If the late convict's hull is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. So, Mr. Shamspear, the truth is well within our grasp now, and as such, you will never get your hands on Sheldon's stolen wealth. In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key. No! Give the key to me! The debtor shan't have it! It's over, Mr. Shamspear. No. Out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. Whoa! Oh, shameful spear! Despair! Breathe thy name! He was prancing to the bitter end. I never intended to kill the man. Just just wanted to drive him out of the room, that's all. Did you have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? And after you killed the young man, you still had to move into the room. I asked the landlord, of course. Pleaded with him. He refused. Why? I was 3 months behind with the rent. For one thing. Mr. Carpenter really has had a lot to put up with. He had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. Then, the Japanese man swooped in just the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, after the incident on Briar Road, the Japanese fellow got himself arrested. I thought I'd finally have my chance. Wasn't to be. No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day. If I remember rightly, Mr. Sloan spent the whole day in there reading books. When he even entered the room, alone to search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsume was acquitted and returned to his room, once again tried your trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Unbeknownst to you, however, the action would lead you into a deadly trap. William Shakespeare. How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question. From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. Well, let me tell you in your case. It's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. Never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died. The gas supply in my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olivia. The gas supply? Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night, for some reason. It's no joke. They say it's the convict's curse. Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright then, if it's that important to you, start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms in my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight? No, I better not. We said we'd wait until we graduate before we told our parents, remember? That was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, I fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen. I've insisted he left the horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is a bitter regret. Not going to school. But something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stupid, Eastern looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up to the road to grub scrubbery for some food, so I followed him. Sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup. Started to pick a quarrel with the publican. That place is cursed, I tell you! Cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there is trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas. I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking. But But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered. A rumor I heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations. A rumor? Oh, you mean... Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems. How they go around checking the pipes. How anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework. That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. It just won't go away. Was it really an accident, though? Once I had an idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this. One of the black markets at the East End. A black market? I've never been. Just heard people talk about them. Really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out, one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder? And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple but highly effective. Red poison the gas pipe you suspect the man of tampering with. And wait. Mr. Shamspeare was innocent. Nothing would come of what you've done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly. I found out the name of the man I suspected. William Shamspeare. Then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It's a matter of the utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that it would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I wait to see if it worked. And of course, Mr. Shamspeare followed the instructions to the letter. I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. I smeared a good amount of poison I bought all around the mouth of the pipe, all the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done. That was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done. The culprit would get his just deserts. "3 days ago, when you were first stood to the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward." "Yes, my lord." "I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we would subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend." "Oh, yes." "And one I certainly didn't envision walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green?" "Yes, my lord." "You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom, as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shamspeare." "Yes, I know." "And you, Mr. Shamspeare, you'll be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood. The sequential attempted murder of Mr. Sasuke Natsume here present." Mr. Naruto. Yes! Yesterday, at the hospital, when you and your friends stopped me from ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison bottle, I wasn't myself. I couldn't even remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems. Well, personally, glad you're being here, Miss Green. Oh! And I like to believe that's a blessing Mr. Shansford didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least. Because of you, choose life, not death. And now you've made the truth come out at last. Really? I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green. Mr. Natsuki Natsume. Natsuki Natsume. Yes, my lord! The court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty. Yay! Congrats! When did they get the fireworks? I forgot that was a thing. Court is adjourned. The 23rd of February, 3:24 p.m. Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, yes, us, at last. Divine justice duly done! Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would shave that mustache. No! This has something to do with my mustache! Some say that a luxurious mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Schlones. Locomotive Senate, Mr. Naruto Esquire! Once again! You saved me from doom! Very happy to have been able to help, Mr. Natsume. Congrats on your acquittal. Your second in almost as many days. I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst on our great homeland empire. And then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books. You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now. I dragged you out of this dark and dingy room of yours, did I not? You did! You did! I've seen more of life in this week than all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall fog. My dear fellow, there's nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. There are few genuine differences. Yes, I think you're right. I finally started to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. I made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study at Toria and return to Japan! What? Just when you become friends here in England? What a terrible shame. Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings. It really does. But I decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose. Oh my! So you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsume? How wonderful! Oh, well, no! I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature! Why not? When this is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache. I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur. I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper. It's very true. And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is in the prosecutor. Desire to return post-haste to perceive safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. My goodness, yes! These are such terrifying prospects. Nobody would consider that cowardly. I'm quite sure. But that's not why I'm leaving! I need it! Objection! And that was the case we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. Suzuki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Sasata-san was given the news that she must return to Japan as well. On the back of the telegram stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot hidden by the now deceased convict in his former lodgings. The 24th of February, 10:13 a.m., Mr. Natsume's room. Well done, Mr. Shlomes. Simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day. Wasn't it supposed to take 30 minutes? As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Grayson? Grayson's been happily munching an agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily, I think perhaps humorously might be close to the truth. So, it transpires the man fashioned hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then, if you're ready. Examine the late burglar's haul. What is that? It looks like some sort of neckband or collar. Oh, if a girl could give me a collar like this, I'm just saying, I'd be hers. A collar? It's huge though. Look at all the gemstones set in it. I can see why it was claimed to be worth 1,000 pounds. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed that the insides there are some dark stains? You don't think it could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it. On second thoughts, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then, of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B and a small crown. What does this signify, do you think? Oh, I haven't noticed that! I feel as though I've seen it, that emblem somewhere before, you know? Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think. What? What's the matter with Mr. Slomes? Well, the color has drained from his face. Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this. Ought you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. We must keep it safely under lock and key. Oh, yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot. And it over now. I've never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly looked to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out the most to me. At least not once I've noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood? Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now. You look very pleased, Iris. I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as a base of this month's story in the magazine. But this case would be perfect. It's been so fascinating. You're talking about the latest installment of The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, I presume. The Mystery of the Knife in the Mist. Or The Mustache Man and the Convict's Curse, perhaps. I could make it a two-part story. Oh, I can't wait! A word, please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Hurley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case! And I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your two titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yes.
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again, with an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Well, ain't that mysterious? I love how everything's fucking connected. Honestly, pretty great. Pretty great. And with that said, everybody, thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you can. And next time, we're going to be taking on a new case. Till then, sayonara. Bye-bye.